Hello, David here. I'm the creative director at Scalar Music, and today we're here to do our first pre-release reveal 1. Firstly, thank you very much for the wonderful feedback and response to the Scalar 3 announcement. We really are genuinely as excited as you are, and the pressure is on to deliver you something fantastic. Today I'm going to have a look at the main page, or what we call the browse page. Now, Scalar 3 is about 3 things: browse, create, and arrange. And you can see those tabs up here. We're going to get to create and arrange in the next few weeks. But first, I just want to have a look at the browse page. So on the browse page, everything should look familiar for Scalar users. There's a section A, a section B, and a section C. We can, as per normal, browse scales down here, look at the scale list and so forth. And we can also come in via all scales, and we can browse for scales just clicking on a keyboard. What's really nice about this is this enables us to look for scales that contain, say, these notes. So, and then you get a list. You can also refine that list by using these tags, which is really wonderful. So we can go, okay, great, I found my E Lydian with a sharp 2nd and 6th scale. The other thing you can do in the browser is obviously browse our wonderful chord sets, and it's really smooth and easy to do. You can scroll up and down, you can search for things, and you can always move this little title here, which is a really fantastic way to be able to kind of adapt the workflow to your needs. We have a moods, users, and favorites, which is really nice because you can favorite something, it appears in the favorites, and you can search by mood too, which makes it really nice and easy to find things. Section A, Section B, fairly straightforward. And we have the Section C, which is we used to call your chord builder. Just like Scalar 2, you can drag things straight into Section C. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume down so we don't hear anything, okay? It's easier for me to talk. The first thing you're going to notice, no limit on the chords. And that really is fantastic. That's going to make a lot more sense when we cover this next week. Secondly, if I bring up the logic behind it, you can see that everything naturally syncs to the DAW right out the box. So you can hit play and you can see the chords playing and everything syncing to your DAW. It's really fantastic. You can see as I move along too, you can see the position here. They're both just sync to each other, which is great. You can actually just play from within Scalar, so you don't have to use DAW sync. You can, more on this stuff later, but you can come to the record option. You've got your capture, detect, MIDI. You've got your MIDI jam, you can export, you can undo, bunch of visual information up the top. And then the other main thing you're going to notice is the keyboard and those global parameters are down the bottom. We thought that worked really, really nicely. It's an ability to turn on your motions. We're calling motions all expressions and articulations. We're putting them all together as motions. Humanized. Now, there's some really nice things here. Firstly, the motion browser is just unbelievably good and easy to use. So I might go to expressions. I might go to my phrases. Lots more of this stuff to come. That's the first thing I want to say is my caveat is everything is subject to change. I mean, Scalar is pretty much where it's going to be, but there will be slight tweaks. But you can audition and you can browse by looking at the actual MIDI notes. It's just so fantastic. You can apply swing. You've got a depth control now. You've got your standard keys locks, which work really lovely. You've got your voice grouping. You can move semitones and octaves. You can bind any area, which is fantastic. You can see it all there, just like Scalar 2, but just so much quicker and easier to use. You can call up different voicings on the scales. Fairly straightforward, really, just like Scalar. The other thing I'm going to say is this is going to make a lot more sense to you, but you can move chords around, swap chords, but chords are now not tied to any specific length. You can change the length of chord according to a grid in another page. More on that later. So that's the browse page. It's fairly straightforward. It looks familiar. You could do whatever you want and choose different instruments by scrolling through. More on the instruments later. There's lots more to come. You can bind, you can do your keyboard view. Browse, create, arrange. We like to use those words because they relate to the tabs up here, and it's actually what you do in Scalar. More on create in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching.